Let's ramp up the pace here, guys. It's time for our six stack. We'll begin with the London Spitfire. They're 4-0 and appear to be gaining some steam in week 2. Monty, what has impressed you most about this team so far?
Well, I finally get to be impressed by having Fisher and Rascal start playing with this lineup. They stuck with the same 6 players throughout that first week of competition, and now they're starting to introduce these new strategies. They've been playing a lot of in-your-face, like sort of tank-busting compositions with the Reaper. We saw Rascal play 7 different heroes this week over the course of the competition, showing off his versatility, as well as those niche picks like May on Horizon Defense that we know he is absolutely excellent at. And then even beyond that, when Fisher's been in the lineup, they start busting out, let's say, the Torbjorn and Reaper on Dorado Defense. I'm loving the increased versatility that we're seeing from this team, and I'm super happy to see some of my favorite players from Apex making their regular season debut.
Right, well, something that stood out in London's win over Dallas was the awkward ending where the match was already decided at 3-0 or whatever, but they had to decide and finish on Numbani. Had to play it regardless. As the league looks to improve the experience, hybrid maps like Numbani will now be played first, and escort maps will be the 4th and final of the series. Mr. X, what difference does this make?
This is great for everybody, you know, players, fans, casters, whatnot, because you can't end the series on a draw now. I think one of the most anticlimactic things is when you're watching a series for so long and you're wondering what's going to happen on that final map, and it's a draw. And we still go into the extra time, and we know that it's going to be a draw in that second half. So I think, you know, changing the rules, putting that hybrid map first, putting escort at the end is great for everybody. It's a win all around.
Doesn't eliminate the draws necessarily, but at least make sure.
But you have the draws.
You have the draws first.
You could have 2 draws to start off the series, which means that even if one team wins the 3rd map, now the other team still has a chance to come back, tie it up, and send us to that 5th map. So I think this is a great change.
And we get it, guys. It wasn't great. We knew it as well. We just couldn't say it every time it came up. But the Houston Outlaws flipped the script in week 2, evening up their record and not dropping a map. Doa, have the Outlaws figured it out?
Well, I mean, the big thing to think about here is that, yeah, they didn't drop a map last week, but they played Dallas and they played Shanghai as well. So the 2 bottom teams in the league right now, they were convincing wins by Houston, of course, and when you look at their earlier matches, they were competitive, but have they figured it out? I'm not so sure yet. I don't know. I want to see more games from these guys before I think we can really judge accurately where they stand in the rest of the league. Last week didn't really tell me much.
And definitely more to be shown and done from those guys. We'll have to see. But we're halfway through the 6 stack here. The Florida Mayhem picked up their first win in week 2. Mr. X, do you think they could gain some momentum here moving forward?
Look, I think the Florida Mayhem, although their record isn't great, I think they have played a lot of teams close. Their win is over the Shanghai Dragons, though. You know, the Shanghai not in a great spot as a team right now. I think it'll be very difficult for them going forward to get more wins against, you know, top and middle of the pack teams. But do I think they're going to get blown out? No. Do I think they gain a little bit of confidence off that Shanghai win, though? Yes. I don't know how much it carries them forward to more wins, though.
Yeah, it really depends on how their perception of the Shanghai Dragons is. It could differ from ours or even yours, for that matter. But the Philadelphia Fusion are up and down so far. They continue to get organised, Monty. As it happens, what are the Fusion doing differently that is now starting to work? Or not?
Or not. I mean, they're still lacking a lot of that teamwork and that synergy that we've seen from other teams. Of course, getting reversed, swept by the Los Angeles Gladiators, but picking up that win versus San Francisco this week. So they're winning matches based on that raw strength still, but they still need to come together. However, where I think this team is going to land is based off of their very aggressive play style. Fraggy is a weird tank. He's a Winston player that likes to play very far forward and open up space, which is great when you have DPS players that can thrive in this space like Carpe and Shadowburn. However, we take a look at his stats. Most deaths, but the team is still winning matches, right? And he's actually up there in terms of damage dealt. So as soon as the team learns how to support him better or even play around his playstyle, he may not have the best statistics. And certainly he is overextending at times right now. But if you can minimize that moving forward and then just take advantage of his positive qualities, which we saw on Team Giganti when he won Contenders playoffs in Europe, that's where they're going to start looking good.
Fraggy, looking like a Viking and definitely the definition of a blunt object, especially when they're using him in the Winston role. But last one. The Boston Uprising were looking pretty good in the preseason and in week 1, but now they sit at 1-3. Doa, how can the Uprising do just that and improve this week?
Oh, the thing is, what you got to remember about Boston Uprising, right, is that this was a team that not a lot of people were expecting a lot out to begin with going into the season. So I think they're still already exceeding expectations from what we thought they were going to look like coming into it. Going forward, though, I mean, we know that Striker's performing well on Tracer, but they've got Dream Casper. This guy is awesome. He keeps looking better every single week, and if they can kind of pull together and play around him a little bit more than they are now, I think the trajectory could keep going up. Because even though last week was rough, I still think overall this team is still getting better.
Yeah, I think Dream Casper, too, with his huge hero pool, is also looking like a strong point on this roster, so I'm excited to see more of him.
It's a trajectory, an interesting one. I think earlier on we thought they would be on the up. This week maybe gave us some concerns, but now heading into week 3 could be even different.